So yeah, I lied to you. Just thought I'd make a video to apologize for that and say I was wrong, and I'll try my best to avoid that in the future. But basically a couple months ago, I made a video saying that I think that every second of your time, every second in between tasks, so when you're on the bus or when you're commuting or when you're brushing your teeth or when you're in the shower or when you're tidying your room or when you're making food or whatever, I said that you should be cramming information into your brain. You should be listening to podcasts. You should be watching a video. Every single second that you have, you should be downloading information into your brain, because I heard of this concept that was information in equals information out. The more information that you can consume, the better information you can produce. But I was wrong, because recently I've had to come into university loads, which is about a half an hour walk from my new flat, because the Wi-Fi is down in my flat at the moment. And in those half an hour of walking time where I'm not doing anything, I'm just walking, no phone, no listening to podcasts, no music, just walking, I've had incredible insights and major epiphanies. So I wanted to apologize for spreading that wrong information and telling you this new idea that I have, which is to give yourself breaks throughout the day. And it's especially bad for our generation, who are on our phones constantly. We're not bored. When was the last time that we're bored? Because we've got our phones on us constantly, an endless stream of information on our phones. But this idea that I'm now telling you, this new concept, this concept of giving yourself time just to think, is actually scientifically proven, because there are two different modes of thinking for your brain. First of all is the focused thinking, and the second of all is the diffused mode of thinking. Now, the way that they describe this is, imagine a pinball machine where you shoot the ball and it bounces off other things. For the focused mode, imagine all of the things that the ball bounces off, all of the little obstacles that it bounces off are really, really close together. So the ball's bouncing backwards and forwards really, really, really close, but it's not leaving that little area. It's only bouncing around loads in this small area near where all the things are close together. It's bouncing over here. But when you stop focusing on something and you let your brain relax, imagine that the walls that the ball's bouncing off are spread out across the whole of the pinball machine. You can now see that, yes, the ball is moving slower, but it's bouncing a lot further. It's bouncing all over the place. And that's the same with your mind. When you stop focusing on one thing and let your mind focus on everything, you start making connections between new tasks. Because in your brain, you have paths that fire again and again and again. And the only way you can create new tasks is by letting your brain relax and letting it open up to the new tasks where you can connect ideas together and have epiphanies. Because there's lots of things that you are doing now that are just plain wrong, and it's kind of stupid. You're doing lots of stupid things. You just can't see it because you're not letting your brain get to those other parts of the brain. And this is completely true in my life myself. There's so many times where I've been like, why was I doing that for 6 months of my life? That's just wrong. That's stupid. But because I didn't let my brain focus on dwell on what I was actually doing, I didn't have those realizations. And this is so true that there's different scientists and inventors, and I wish I could remember who they were. But what they would do is they would go to bed, they would sleep on a chair, and they'd have something in their hand, like some keys or a light bulb or something, and they'd just let their hand droop, so that when they were about to go to sleep, which is when your brain is the most relaxed, when the walls, the things that the ball bounces off are the furthest away from each other, that's when you make the most connections. But when they would fall asleep, the keys would drop on the floor and would wake them up. They're utilizing this relaxed state of the brain to allow their brain to make new connections that most other people don't get. Because most people, when they enter that really relaxed state of thinking before sleep, they fall asleep and they don't remember what they were thinking. So the final takeaway is, give yourself time to not go on your phone and just go on a walk or tidy your room and just let it think about the problems that you have, think about the solutions, think about what you want to get out of life, and just give it a bit of time to focus and relax. That's all I've got to say. Remember, I almost forgot then. If you want the Stoic guide to staying calm, no matter what happens to you, then click the first link in the description. I'll see you in tomorrow's video.